Welcome to Leaders Lead Podcast. Are you ready to conquer your challenges and achieve greatness? Join us as we dive into inspirational stories of industry leaders who have overcome adversity and reached new heights. Get ready for electrifying insights and captivating conversations that will ignite your passions for success. This is your go-to show for empowerment, growth, and leadership. Buckle up. Leaders Lead Podcast is here to take you on a transformational ride.
We'll jump back into your episode in a minute, but first let me ask you something. Are you great at what you do, but it still feels like no one really sees you as the go-to expert in your space? You're showing up, maybe putting out content, speaking on a few podcasts, but the visibility, the growth, the income, it still feels out of reach. That's exactly why I created the Experts Blueprint. It's a step-by-step system that I use to help coaches, consultants, and purpose-driven experts finally get visible, grow your loyal audience, and turn their message into income. Inside, I'll show you how to craft your story so people actually remember it, build a platform that works for you 24/7, and create content that builds trust and moves people into action. If you're ready to stop being overlooked and start getting the recognition, the results that you deserve, join the waitlist by emailing me at info@TonyTaylorInspires.com. Let's build something real. Let's get you seen. Welcome back to your episode. Welcome to Leaders Lead the Podcast. I am super excited. I was like bragging to all my friends today about the guest that we have today, Hillary Momberger-Powers. At just 5 years old, she became the voice of Sally Brown in the Peanuts cartoon. That's Charlie Brown's sister. A childhood dream for many, but behind the laughter and the light of the world, Hillary's own story took a painful turn. By her teens, she was introduced to alcohol and drugs, and the wounds from her childhood began to drive the choices that followed. What came next was years of addiction, recovery, and then deep inner work, the kind that goes beyond putting substances down. Hillary discovered that healing means facing yourself, your pain, your patterns, your story, and then finding the strength to rebuild from the inside out. Today, she's an inspirational speaker. She's an actress and an advocate who helps others rise from their own pain. And her story is one of redemption, resilience, and renewal. Thank you so much for coming on Leaders Lead the Podcast.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony. Damn, I sound good.
You are good. You are good. Last night I did a post and on Facebook, and I was just like telling everybody that you were coming on the show and like what questions that they have. And mind you, we don't get a whole bunch of like social media love. All of our stuff is like podcasts, 100,000 people on the podcast, but not really social media like that. But for some reason, people are like, shit, what? Really? I got a whole bunch of questions from people that were just like really inspired by you. And so thanks for doing this.
Hey, thank you for inviting me. I feel very honored to be able to share a bit of my pain, a bit of my struggle, a bit of my triumphs, and a bit of my comforts. I really am happy that I'm able to add to the world instead of being a vortex and sucking the world dry like I did at one time.
Well, you sure gave people around the world a lot of light. I remember watching Charlie Brown and thinking, oh man, Sally is just so fucking cool. And it's just so weird that I'm sitting here talking to you today. I'm kind of like fanning out a little bit on the inside.
That's
No, it's true though. No, it's so true. So you started in front of the camera, I read, at just 5 years old. What was that like early fame for you as a kid? I would imagine that would be pretty cool.
Well, it's funny because you say, I imagine it's pretty cool. When I was a kid, there's not, I grew up in a very big family and I just wanted to be a kid. Something about just being in the herd that I miss. And so, I have a mother. So I'll give you kind of a little backstory on how I ended up getting this role is My mother and father were from New York City. My mother was an elite. My dad was a hardworking guy who got himself in West Point. My mother went to Vassar, and they met, and it was like, addiction galore. My mother was a drinker. My father was a drinker, and it was like love. I always say that the 7 children came from drink, fight, and you know what? You know what I mean? Boom, 7 kids later, right? My mother always said to me, I never wanted to have kids. I just loved the feeling of being pregnant. Well, that's what happens when you have a narcissist, alcoholic, untreated, ego-driven mother. So, that gives you a backstory on how I got the job. So as a kid, my mother was a Jackie Gleason girl that used to introduce. I don't know if you know who that is. He was a very famous comedian. And she used to go, and here's Jackie. And so she had to give her career up because my grandfather was not going to stand for it. She needed to be a teacher or a mother. That was like back in the 30s when that's kind of what you did. And so my mother, we moved to California when I was 3. And she got this great idea that she was going to make the kids famous. Now, it wasn't she wanted us to be famous. It was we became an extension of her existence, which is what a lot of parents do today, unfortunately. And so my mom brought us all down to Hollywood. It's that old saying. And I went on my first interview, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was 5. All I knew was we were going to meet people, and I have this bubbly personality anyway. I looked like Shirley Temple, and I was like, hi, And so I ended up meeting Charles Schultz and Bill Melendez. And it was funny because my mother thought she was going to go into the interview, and they made her stand outside, and she was infuriated.
But the interview was for you, right?
Yeah, but of course, when you have the narcissist, I'm the extension of her existence, So this gives you kind of a background of why it became a pain-driven instead of joy-driven. So I got this job, and I just thought, how fun. I'm going to be a cartoon character. Like, I have no clue. All I know is I watch cartoons on Saturdays, and I think, how fun. So my world from 5 to around 12 years old was all about going on interviews. And my mother used to say, my mother was very mentally ill. You know that old say, she's pretty but crazy? Oh, she's pretty crazy, So she used to say things like, if you don't make this commercial, your brothers and sisters are going to starve.
Shit.
So at 5 and 6 years old, I'm thinking, I start getting traumatized, which is a really kind of overused word, but any kind of emotional jolt creates a trauma and creates a wound. The original wound was, oh my God, I have to be perfect. The world depends on me. And if I don't, I'm going to die. So I don't know any of this until I've done a lot of uncovering, discovering, and discarding my stuff. All I know is I'm a little girl, and I want to make mommy happy. And I don't want my brothers and sisters hurt. So I went into these job interviews like, I got to get it. I got to get it. And so I went from audition to audition, and I was very lucky, or I just had that something spark, that something that people talk about. Like, Tony, you have that something that people just want to gravitate towards. And I had that something.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a blessing and a curse if you don't know how to use it for good purpose.
Yeah.
So I ended up as a kid performing for love. I had to make this job. And it was back in the day when they had like 5 or 6 TV channels. Now they have like 350. Like, you can get lost quickly here. I think why people strive so hard to become an immediate star, because they want to be known right now. But I was on at all these commercials, and I would go to school, and the kids would say, aren't you that girl on the Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial? And I'd be like, no, because I didn't want to be different.
Damn.
I just wanted to be a kid, because there's a price that comes with being in fame, which is You need to be what the world thinks you are instead of who you are.
Wow, I've never thought about that. I remember being a kid and seeing like childhood actors, people that were my age, and just being like, damn, it would be so cool to be like that, to have like their life. I remember as a kid watching, is it Ricky Schroeder, the dude that had like a train in his house and shit. And I remember saying, that would be so cool to be on the TV show. But then, of course, the older I get, I start realizing that a lot of people are struggling on the inside. And I was curious, when did you realize that, something's not right on the outside? Maybe I look successful, but something's not right on the inside. When did you first start realizing that?
Well, we used to go to church, and I was raised Catholic. I'm a recovering Catholic, I always say. I'm a recovering in a lot of ways, but we used to go to church, and my mother would dress us up because we had the 4 little kids and we all looked really picture perfect, Kennedy wise. And then, but she would be beating us at home, and there was screaming and yelling, and I didn't want you, I should have aborted you, and all this craziness. And then we would go to church and I would think, wait, they don't know who my mother is. And I really believed at the time that I had done something wrong, that God had bestowed this house of horrors to me. And I'm not the only child that had to put up with it. All 7 of us got a litany of abuse, emotional, physical, mental, spiritually. We were just, but we look good on the outside.
Damn. And it sounds like you internalized that, right?
Body keeps the score, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at around 7 and 8, and I thought, wow, I felt so much pressure. I used to get blisters on my fingers, and I bit my fingers to the quick, and I was always nervous, and I couldn't eat. I was one of those kids that would fall asleep in front of the food because I was just so stressed out I couldn't eat, but it's that whole kind of, you got to look good rather than be good, look good rather than do good, make it look good on the outside so no one enters the house on the inside.
Damn.
Yeah, which is the way we live our life. Like, I look good. You look good on the outside. You get your tits done. You get your lips done. You get the car. You get the Lambo. You get the diamonds. You got the chains. But yet, you don't let anyone know who you are, because if they know how you feel about yourself on the inside, they're going to run. So that's, and you talked about looking at those Ricky Schroeder or whoever the guy was, it doesn't matter, put the name in, but, and you think, I want to be like that. Well, thank God for desire, Tony, because you have worked very hard to achieve as a result of that first hit of desire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's a good thing. Anything out of proportion anything in the refrigerator more than 3 days rots, period. So you got to get the proportions right, So, I grew up thinking, I got to do this. It's not what I want to do. Yeah, there was fun. It wasn't bad. I would get candy all the time, and that's all a kid wants. I never learned how to read until I was 11 years old, because I was on set and they would tell me what to read. I would get knocked out. I'd have to leave school all the time to go work. And I was a commercial actor and a cartoon and a voiceover actor. So it wasn't like I had 9 months of work. It was intermediate. So there was no bonding, no connecting, because it was always job here, job here, job. And which is interesting, because in my latter career, I became a script supervisor, where I did the circus, joined this town, this town, this town. So my character as a child, I talk about trauma a lot, and I've had the blessing of, and the curse of, being traumatized. Like today, I wouldn't change one event.
Damn.
Because I like who I am. As painful as things have been, it's like, dude, if I'm going to make a soup, I got to have a lot of ingredients. Sometimes it's an old tire and some lug nuts and the oregano and the chicken and a little splash of Tabasco just to spice the shit up, right?
Yeah.
My life. So I remember as a kid thinking, wow, I got to be perfect. So my first wound is I'm terrified of home. There's my impression. Bonding and relationships is scary. There's my wound. I talk about my pitch is no longer leading with my wound. That wound is the one that drives me. I pick people who are unavailable. I pick people who are not kind to me. I pick people who are abusive to me because my original wound is that's what I received as a kid.
Right.
So I'm building a character way before I found drugs and alcohol were not like, oh, this is great. The drugs and alcohol were, thank God I don't feel anymore.
So it's almost like you're trying to like numb that pain.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to kill myself. I felt so dead inside anyway. I was so fractured. So in trauma, we come from a place of the reptilian brain is like, I'm a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I got to live or die. I'm going to eat today or I'm going to kill today. Am I going to make it? So I'm in this constant state of what can I do to be okay? Am I okay? Am I okay? Am I okay? And so I'm going from fear to I'm the queen or the king. Fear, I'm going to die. I'm a piece of nothing. I'm a piece of shit. Nobody loves me. I'm amazing. And so how can you stabilize when you're in that state of that pendulum locking constantly? Yeah. I mean, I work with these women and they're always like, oh my God, this happened. And I go, let's just take a breath. Let's just pause. It's not happening to you. It's happening around you.
Yeah.
It's happening for you. I mean, that's so cliche.
No, it's true. Externalism. Yeah, totally true. Yeah.
But I have learned over the years through tons and tons and tons of therapy and failure after failure and self-love and getting to know that little girl that's terrified all the time. She's always going to be, because that's my core girl. And we detach from that. We think I'm an adult now. I don't need to be a child. Well, even God says, I want you to come to me childlike, not childish.
Yeah.
Which is vulnerable, open to receive, curious, filled with joy, ready to receive. So I went ahead and, here I am, 6 and 7 years old. I'm afraid. I don't think I'm enough. I think my mother used to say, you'll never be as beautiful as me or as smart as me. Imprint. There's my message. I'll never be enough. I'm not enough. I'm not pretty enough. So these are all deep in my basement, which I call Hillary. Now this is covered on top of this perfect child that God created in his image. I don't even know it because I think God is punishing me. So I do, and I act and I do all this stuff. And then I remember one day I was 13 years old, 12 years old. I was still doing commercials. We had moved a lot. Mom and Dad got a divorce. I can't understand why. It couldn't have been the drinking and all the craziness. Newsreel. So she was a hot mess. She was this, God bless her. She died homeless drunk downtown LA.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Is she still living?
Oh, no, babe. And I forgive everything she did. Thank you, Mom, for doing what you did. Thank you. You helped make my soup, Mama. Thank you.
How do you forgive that?
You don't have a choice. If I don't forgive, I'm living in trauma. Live or die, happy, sad, black, white, Republican, red, blue, it's so duality that I need to be in the gray zone. That's forgiveness. It's right there in the middle. I need to be in the middle, meaning I need to be right sized, just like you. I don't care what you are. You're a killer. God, you got a soul just like me. Man, what happened that you had to go there? What happened? Like, I want to know about you. I don't want to judge you because then I'm in the king, the queen, back and forth, good, bad, happy, sad. I'm smarter. You're an idiot.
Wow.
There's no connection when you're there.
That's incredible. Yeah, because just listening to you and hearing that you forgive your mom from all this stuff. I hear so many people, adults and teenagers. Oh, it's my mom's fault, it's my dad's fault, and you hear it, and it could be the smallest thing, and you're just like, oh man, you lived in brand new houses, you were given love, 24/7, but your fuck ups are still your parents' fuck up, and that is the reason why I feel like a lot of people don't go for it, because they don't have the mindset that you have, where you're like, all right, this is just a part of the fucked up soup what made me who I am today. It sounds like you're taking it and you're embracing it.
Responsibility for my life.
Yeah.
The thing is I always thought we suffer from victimism in our society. We nurture it, we pat it up, we package it. It's so pretty. But, if I don't own, I had this conversation with a woman today, and she finally wrapped her head around it. When I was 13 and 14, I was raped 3 times. Okay. I could milk the shit out of that one. Mm-hmm. Oh man, and I did. I used my pain as an audience. I used my pain to lead me into the next pain conversation. Poor Hillary. I was, had all this stuff. My mother took all my money because, I found out, I went into the bank account. I found the statement and everything was drained out. She had given it to my stepfather. They had gotten remarried. He was a chemist. He brought crystal meth into California in 1973. He taught everybody how to cook it. That was my background. Woo!
And that's where your money was going to.
Everything was being spent. She was an alcoholic. She didn't manage anything well. And so I found out now I'm angry. So there's 3 things that you become when you're in trauma. A loner, where you sit in your room, you look at your iPad, you don't talk to anybody. You don't really care. You don't have a lot of friends. We always think they're the scary ones. The people pleaser, right? Mm-hmm. Everything. Do you love me now? 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 Or the controller. You have to do everything so I feel safe. I got these 3 things. Now, people pleaser Hillary as a little girl becomes a loner. I start cutting. I start bulimic. I start throwing up in private. I start finding drugs and alcohol. I start hurting myself. Or you become the controller. I don't need anybody. I got this. So good girl became bad. I ended up dropping out of high school. I went to 9 high schools. My mother hit me. I hit her back because I was tired of being abused. I became the controller again. And I end up going to juvenile hall for assault and battery. I get released. I go home and I go move in with a foster family. In this foster family, I remember the woman said to me one day, "What happened at school today?" And I was ready for Freddie. I was like, oh, she's gonna be pissed that I had a good day. I got to tell her it sucked, because I'm used to talking about how bad my life is. And I said, why do you want to know? Because I'm defensive, right?
Yeah.
I'm so defiantly defensive. And she says, I want to know how happy you are. That was my first aha moment, that there are people outside of my ecosystem that are happy. Like, that blew me away. So I'd love to say, and I had that moment and I found Jesus and everything was wonderful. Hell no, but I got a taste of the little angels that God throws in your path.
Yeah.
But when you're so into self, you can't see outside of yourself.
Yeah, it's hard. I was going to ask you, what do you feel like you needed the most as a child?
I believe the thing I needed the most as a child, besides having an emotionally stable mother, that wasn't going to happen. I believe just being heard. There's a therapy called imago therapy, and it's very interesting. It's great for relationships. It's even great for parents and kids. It's where you listen to what they say and you mirror it back. Imago is French for mirroring. Mm-hmm. Where you say, what I heard you say is this. Am I right? Because all I want to do is be heard.
It's almost like it's like a type of validating, right?
Yeah, but then you bring empathy into it. I can imagine what you felt must have felt really horrible. Like all of a sudden I'm acknowledged. And unfortunately, we live in a world where everybody's talking over each other, trying to up, because we're not right size. We're in trauma. Live, die, live, die, eat or be eaten, rich, poor, ugly, fat, black, white, red, blue. You see how it's learning how to pause, take a breath and go, I'm sorry, can I repeat what I heard? And let me know if I'm right. I never got that.
Yeah.
It was screaming and yelling and shut up and do it and perform, be, human being, do, then you're okay. So I ended up I was 16 years old. I dropped out of high school. I was left the foster home because there was sexual stuff going on and I didn't want to be a part of his clan. And I ran. I'm a runner. I'm a loner. I go into that side and I find a guy, take him hostage. He takes me hostage.
You said hostage.
I take him hostage. He takes me hostage. And we're going to do the Disney happily and ever after. But when drugs and alcohol are involved and physical abuse, it didn't last long. But we lived in a warehouse in Compton. We sold pots and pans on the side of the highway. And I thought, I don't need to know education. I just need to learn the streets. Now, I am so lily white, dude.
You're in Compton, and you're in Compton living in a warehouse.
And it's the 70s. I'm like, hello. I'm dipping sherms with all the drug dealers across the street in the Hooker Hotel. And I'm just like, I'm just fitting in because I know how to. So I know how to fit in, which was a curse and a blessing. So I go ahead and finally, by the time, I lie to get into a nursing college because I think I need to save the world because that'll save me. Mm-hmm. If I fix you, you'll fix me, right? Mm-hmm. My funnels. And I remember my boyfriend saying, Hillary, your funnel's on backwards. I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, you need to turn life around. You see things weird.
Damn.
I mean, it's 16 years old. Smart guy, although he died of a drug overdose, but he was a smart guy.
Yeah.
He gave me that gift of perspective going, man, my thinking is askew. What's wrong with
your funnel's on backwards?
Totally, my funnel is on backwards. I saw everything like, oh, that's going to make me happy. That's going to make, and then if I turn around, there's like a whole world out there.
Wow.
So I ended up getting a job at a doctor's office. I hated my stepfather because he was a speed drug dealer. And I'm working at a weight control clinic selling speed out the back door. I become what I hate the most because that's my original wound. Mm-hmm. I don't even know it's driving me. In AA, we say driven by 100 forms of fear. I say driven by 100 characteristics. Like, I don't think I can make it, so I have to deal drugs. I don't think I'm smart enough, so I have to steal. I don't think I'm pretty enough, so I have to just bang you the first 10 minutes I meet you. I don't think you're going to stick around, so I leave you first. Mm-hmm. These are all trauma responses. I don't even know it. I just think this is who I am. You better like me. Whatever, if you don't like me, okay, that's fine. So by the time I was 21 years old, I had had a couple overdoses, and I had an overdose. I was living in Venice on a fire escape, and I was in a grand mal seizure, and I said, if there's a God, please help me. And my grand mal seizure stopped. I would love to say, and I went skipping through the forest, and it was amazing ever since. That was another introduction that there's something greater than me and other than me that wants me to be happy.
Wow.
Like that woman who said, what are you? Tell me. Did you have a good day? Like it was so foreign to me because I thought I had to be somebody to love instead of just be Hillary. And so I ended up getting sober. I was walking down Venice Boulevard, and I don't say this out of pride. I just had no value for my body. I had just had an abortion that day. I was walking down to the beach wondering how I was going to kill myself. And, I didn't take care of my body. I lived in an environment. My first one was I was in Compton, and it was poster after poster. Get rid of your kid. It was like so sick in the 70s. Like, it was crazy. Yeah. And so I thought, oh, that's what you do. You just get rid of things. Swipe right. Swipe right. Different way to do it now. Swipe right. Kill him. Yeah. Kill him. So I was thinking about how I was going to kill myself. And a really good looking guy from Ireland was standing on the corner who I'd met before. And he said, oh my God, you look so bad. What's wrong with you? That's not what I heard. He said, I'm sober. I've got 90 days sober. You want to come with me to a meeting? Do you know what I heard him say, Tony? Baby, I want you. You're going to be my girlfriend. Hearing.
Say that's what you wanted to hear.
My mind told me.
Oh. But he said something that you needed to hear, it sounds like.
Yeah. And he took me to my first meeting. But for the grace of God, I didn't see him for 1 year. He abandoned me. He ran. He was like, I'm getting away from that scary girl. But I tell you, I was exposed to a community and a world outside of my paradigm. That's why it's good to get involved with someone who coaches you, or good to go join a basketball team, or go do an art class, or go to a church and give, because I'm exposed. Other than my frequency, I get to be involved in one that is just like, and it resonated because all these people wanted to be happy.
Right. Yeah, but it's so scary. It's so scary when, I would imagine it's so scary when you're, like how you said earlier, when your trauma response is to hide. I would imagine that's hard to get connected to other people.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can be in a room and not be there.
Yeah.
So can you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. 100%. I can hide it.
Do you, so was that rock bottom for you at that moment?
That rock bottom, because I had like 2 days earlier, I had taken 100 Valium, and a woman I had met at my doctor's office just happenstance knocked on my door, and she worked for the Suicide Hotline Treatment Center. That's God. Is that odd or God? It's like God wants me here. And she had me take Epitech, and I threw up again, and it was like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to be here, but how do I get here when I don't want to be here? I mean, that's a lot of listeners are in a place. I want to get over there, but I don't want to be here, So I was taught a lot of great lessons. I got involved with a woman who had lived on the streets. I got a mentor who took me under her wings, and I'm still talking to her today, babe.
Wow.
40 plus years later.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah. There's some, we went away for a while, but when you're intertwined, when you've got the same threads, she was a Venice brat, and then she ended up becoming a public defender and helping people. And, I remember saying to her, I don't want to feel stupid anymore. She goes, go back to school. And I said, oh, I'm not smart enough. There's my driving force. See, the only way you can get out of that trauma, I have a diagram that I work with that it's really simple if you see it in person. It's 5 layers in a pyramid. Think of body, mind, spirit. I'm in the middle, right? That I should hope. And when I take care of those 4 things, my body, my mind, and my spirit, I am insulated. I'm safe in the middle. But how do I get in the middle? I need to stabilize.
Yeah.
I need to get some safety. How do I do that? And this could be very helpful for people listening, is you can simmer yourself without paying millions of dollars. Like, you got it in you, babe. If you are of God, you just tap into that power.
Yeah.
So you stabilize. And how do I do that? I use my senses: seeing, tasting, touching, hearing, feeling. I need to surround myself with pleasant things so I calm down. I need to drink water. I need to eat better. I need to get some sleep. I need to listen to some good music or go listen to birds or children laughing. What pleases you? I need to maybe comfort myself, put an old cozy sweater on. It sounds really pedestrian and stupid and childish, but don't we say God wants us to come childlike? It's like when a baby cries, you don't go, shut up, get a job. Well, my mom did, but you don't say that. You say things like, sweetheart, do you need a hug? And you hug it.
Yeah.
Do you need a bottle? Are you hungry now? Are you okay? Do you want to listen to some fun music? Do you want to dance? Like these simple things stabilize. I feel safe.
Yeah. And sometimes you got to do that for yourself, right?
That's the key. See, I am so fractured. What happens when I'm a kid? Okay, I want to be picked up. Daddy, pick me up. That's why I pray. Daddy, pick me up. I need it. So I feel the feeling. That's my sixth sense that comes in. Out of the 5, I can take care of. The 6, I got to go to a power greater, higher than me. Because I'm vibrating low, baby. So I need to go up.
Yeah.
So I pray to this whatever. I can do these simple things. And when I'm a little girl and I'm in this girl trauma, I need to go to her. I need to say, honey, it's okay. Everything's okay. I'm going to be okay. Like I do to self. I hug myself.
I love that.
Yeah, it sounds, I gotta take care of that little kid because she's still with me. Just because I'm 63 years old doesn't mean my little girl is not going, I'm hungry. I'm tired. You don't love me. I want to just be by myself. And there are days I have to go, you know what? I need to do some self-care. I'm going to go take a walk on the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with that? But when I'm living outside of myself, thinking I'm in trauma, I need to please everybody to be loved. I need to control you all to make me feel safe. Like, what are you doing? That should be sitting there. You should be here. You should eat that. Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you? I know I'm in trauma when I'm doing that. That's when I have to pull back. What do I need right now? I got to ask my little girl because it's the simplest thing. And once I can get to that place, which I got to when I got Nate, I stabilize. Then I can I feel like I belong in the world again. Oh, I just want to feel like I belong. I want to be a part of. I'm so hungry to be a part of. I'm so hungry to become in a community where I feel valued. And we all do. We're people. God made 8 billion people, not so we can isolate and sit on our phones and sit in the corner and not talk. No.
It's so much easier to do that though, right?
Yeah, of course. It's not easier, Tony. It's become a habit. It's not easier. There is no, the easier, softer way is doing the work, babe. It's an illusion. Turn your funnel around. See, your funnel's all messed up on that one.
Yeah, there's something powerful that you said in another interview that I saw that you did. You said that addiction isn't just a physical battle, but a mind, body, and soul disease. How did you come to understand that? Because that's pretty powerful.
Well, here's the thing. Okay. I'm gonna get grossly graphic. I like the Pimple Popper. I love that show.
Me too.
We're on the same wavelength. I got a zit. All of a sudden, right? So my mind tells me, no, honey. Are you eating right? Did you sleep? Are you eating fatty food? Are you eating too much sugar? Have you not taken a shit? I don't care what it is, right? I'm talking to a friend.
It's life. Yeah.
Yeah. The zit that's the effect. The cause is I'm spiritually not connected to something greater than me. Mind, I'm not filling my mind with anything new. I keep thinking repetitive thoughts over and over. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I hate myself. I'm never going to get anywhere. I'm going to be poor. I'm white trash. I'm from the wrong neighborhood. I'm from the wrong family. I need to engage and open my mind. Remind means remind. I know these already. I need to remind myself that I am of value. So how do I do that? I read, I listen, I respond, not react. And, body, mind, spirit, I take care of my soul. I take care of my body. When I take care of those things, I take care of those things, my addiction stops. Dude, I don't even have to have, being locked down. I don't need a 30-day rehab. If I go to God and I take care of those 3 things, all of a sudden, I was a bulimic and I threw up probably 10 times a day. I couldn't keep any food because I was trying to be perfect. And once I started addressing and started talking to God and saying, God, I just don't feel enough. I don't feel pretty enough. All of a sudden I started building a relationship with this something I don't even understand. I still don't understand it, but I keep searching because I don't got it. I just keep saying, God, I know you're here because my life is fruitful and I'm alive. Thank you so much. Prayer, praise, supplication. You supplied me with everything I need. Thank you, Lord. And then all of a sudden I'm like, can you help me with this? All of a sudden I stopped throwing up. I mean, this is hardcore. That was probably worse than smoking, worse than drugs. It didn't matter. I just want to fill myself. I wanted to stuff everything. May it be shopping, clothes, sex, food, cigarettes, alcohol, drugs. Just don't feel. Because I got to make friends with my feelings.
Yeah.
I treat them like the enemy. They're going to hurt me more.
Wow. It sounds like the inner child work that you did played a lot to your sobriety, played a lot to your mental health. When did you first discover that? Because the reason that I'm asking is because, when I was struggling with, severe anxiety and then depression from the severe anxiety, I resorted to the things that I would do to soothe myself when I was a child, going for a bike ride, playing video games and stuff like that. But it took me a long time to discover that. And it was almost like God gave it to me because I don't think I would have ever came to that myself. Did you have some sort of divine intervention where it's like, hey, go back to your inner child?
I think I have, I love to say it was that one event. We all just want one event. Mm-hmm. We want that one antidepressant, one pill, one Ozempic shot. We want it right now. And I don't know where we learn that. Maybe because we live in an ecosystem where everything is so quick. Mm-hmm. But, realizing that I'm making a soup, baby. If I put all the ingredients in with that raw whole chicken, and then I say, soup's ready, you're in the hospital, dude, with salmonella. Mm-hmm. So I need to self-soothe by saying, you know what, I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way. You're doing good, Hillary. And so when I was introduced in my 20s, I was 22 when I worked at a hospital that was underneath Bradshaw because it was for kids who were drug and alcohol. They were locked down for 9 months. And then from there, I went and I became the halfway house mother. They called it. I was 24. And I'm
damn.
60-year-old women are in there. Of the first halfway house in the United States called Promises.
Oh, okay.
And now they're like on every street corner, but their outline is a little different. They want to keep you sick, so you're a return business. At the time, we wanted you to get better so you can get into a program so you can start loving and taking care of your life. And so I was encouraged to maybe go a little deeper. And I got curious. And I started feeling a little hit of like, wow, that felt good going for a walk. And I want more. I like more of everything.
Yeah, I'm the same way. You've been in recovery since 1983, I read. That's a few decades. And I'm just like, there's one thing I was thinking about before we got on, like what keeps you grounded? I mean, that's a long time. And did I get that right on the timeline as far as 1983?
Yeah, I got sober in 83. I had went out and I went out long term. I got involved in Al-Anon, an adult child of alcoholics, and I got involved in S-Anon, sex addicts, love addiction. Like I'm just curious. Like, I'm only going to be here once, dude. And I don't want to go out pissed off. Okay? That's the common. I need to figure out what I want. Not everything. I want happiness, joy. And so if you guys keep that as that's what I want, then say, God, can you show me things that make me happy? Can you show me things that'll bring me joy? And we're not talking about some hot dude or some, Ferrari or some new tit job. That's going to bring me son of a cat. Okay.
I feel like a kid. Every time you say tit job, I just start laughing.
I mean, I don't care. Whatever. I've done a lot of stand-up, so.
I love it.
But your audience isn't just one flavor.
You're absolutely right.
What is that old saying? And I'm not comparing myself. Please don't get hate mail for this. But, Jesus actually talked to the people he was talking to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Talked down to them. He right-sized and talked to them like they were people.
No, absolutely.
That's we need to do that in return. So, yeah. So, I found what do I want? I want to be happy. What makes me happy? I'll write things down. When I'm bummed, I'll go, what do I like to do? Oh, God, I love whipped cream. I could eat whipped cream and berries all day long. That's my dessert. I love bubble baths. I love the sound of kids laughing. And it's such joy. That brings me joy. I love the smell of horses. It reminds me of a happy time. I love looking at butterflies. I love being in warm ocean water. Like, I start focusing on this, all of a sudden, I get think of the word, enlightened. I get lighter.
Wow.
And I feel better. And now I want to look for more. So, but what we do as a repetitive word, we think work's got to be hard. It's got to be, who said? Like, I used to go to work. I worked on movies, and I'm known for this in a lot of arenas. I walk in the door and I say, hey guys, best day ever. Because now I'm creating an energy. That's where I'm starting from. There's my start point. But what we do is we get up and we're like, fuck, I get up. My God, I hate the alarm. We throw a pillow at it, and then we're late. And then it's like, I knew it. I hate my job. And then we start this, I'm on the road.
Yeah.
So I have a practice. You got to practice. Just like if you're playing football or basketball or soccer, you can't just be, Ronaldo right today, right? You got to practice. So before I leave my bed in the morning, the first thing I say is I thank you, God, for these sheets, because I need to be where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then I say the Our Father really slow. Like, I break it down into layman terms. Like, hey, thanks for my bread. That means thanks for my food, my wisdom, my job, my friends. Thank you. Help me not be judgmental. Forgive them for their trespass. Who am I? Help me be a better person.
And this is every morning.
I don't leave my bed, and then I put the armor of God on, but I curtail it for me.
Yeah.
Put the belt of truth. Let me see what you want me to see today. Help me see the truth. Don't let me lie to myself today.
This is going to help so many people.
And then, I don't know, I go to breastplate of righteousness. Help me be a good woman. Who do you want me to be today, God? Please help me be the kind of woman that people go, wow, what a great woman. I want to feel that. I want to feel good. I want to feel good. And I want to know that I made you feel good, because that makes me feel good. I still got that trauma people pleaser, but now it's not driving me. Now it's enhancing my life, not driving my life.
Wow. That is incredible. I am curious, for someone that's listening to this right now who feel trapped in the same pain or patterns, what's the first step that you would give them towards like redemption as they're watching this and they're hanging on and they're just like, what do I do right now to get out of this?
You know, it's funny. And I'm sure you have a different platform of all kinds of people. I don't care if you believe in Allah, Jesus, Confucia, you're Jewish, or it doesn't matter, Buddha. It's when we are grounded, meaning get on the ground, baby. Just get yourself grounded. That's why we get on our knees. I am grounded. Okay? Because you feel like you are hit the bottom. Own it. Get on the ground, babe. Get on the ground. Put your head down and then look up and say help. That's the best prayer ever.
Wow.
Show me the way. Whoever, whatever, just show me the way to joy. That is the most powerful prayer.
Wow. That is so good. That is so good. I got some questions for you that some of our listeners had. And let's see. Summer Watson said, wow, that's so cool. Can't wait to listen. Jill Larson wanted to know, did you enjoy being part of bringing the voice of Sally to our lives? And then she did a follow-up and said, did any of you that were the many voices of Peanuts characters ever imagine that it will become so popular and enjoyable as it is 75 years later?
Is that crazy?
Has it been 75 years? That doesn't sound right. Really?
I think so. I think it started, he started doing cartoons.
Okay.
He started doing it for the paper first. And then he made it live in the 60s.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, how is that possible? Because I was watching it when I was a kid, but
not 75, dude.
I know. That's what I was
75. I look good.
I was confused by that. Yeah. So did you?
No, he started. Did I, Jill? I'm going to address you, Jill. Let me tell you, I am so proud today. You know, when I was talking about that soup, you don't feel good about the soup until it's way cooked and it's in someone's stomach and they say, wow, this is great. Then you feel good about cooking it. That's where I am today. I didn't feel so good I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was a part of. I actually didn't tell anybody because my life was so bad. I was ashamed because but then I went up and now I feel grateful to have been able to, my bookend of life is I brought joy and happiness into people's homes. And guess what? Now I bring joy and happiness into people's homes. So it's a bookend.
That's beautiful. Sandy Ogle wanted to know, did you work with Charles Schultz? And if you did, what was he like?
I did. I was so lucky. I did get to work with Charles Schultz and Bill Melendez. Charles Schultz was just a nice man. He was like, when I was a kid, I didn't see people as old because you just love meeting kids. Kids, we don't have time, space, reality. We're just like in the moment. So in the moment. Great place to be, by the way. But I remember looking at him and he was so nice. And he was like, how are you today? Like he was so concerned about who I was. We had a conversation. Because he had booked everybody. They were all the neighborhood kids from Burlingame up in upstate, up California. And I was the only one they brought in that was from an agency.
Wow.
So he wanted me to connect. He wanted to see if I was a kid. And I was just a kid. And Bill Melendez was his producer that was there. And he was so cool. He had this long mustache. And I would sit on his lap. And it was totally no Me Too, you guys. He was totally appropriate. Don't get all weirded out on me. Okay. He wasn't a pedophile. I have others, but not him. I sat on his lap and I used to twirl his mustache. And he had this Spanish accent. And I was like, you're neat. And I'd turn it and he'd talk. And I thought it was fun. And now today I look back and I go, wow, what a great, thank you, God, for giving me that opportunity. It was filled with a lot of pain, but wow, it's worth that I brought joy to people. Thank you, God.
Yeah. I think I know the answer to this one, but how do you use your pain now to help others heal?
Oh my God, so many different ways. I don't know where I thought that life was going to be easy and it wasn't going to hurt. You know, that old saying, you get up to the top of the mountain. I'm using like Moses but you get to the top of the mountain. The top of the mountain is not about, I won, I did it. That's the illusion. The top of the mountain is for me to catch my breath and to see what I'm up against down below. Yeah. So I have gotten to the top of the mountain, not because I'm bigger, better, smarter, prettier, funnier. I have been given reprieve to take a rest, to get my bearings, and to get the faith to go, you know what? I'm going back down there, but that's where my character is built and I'm ready for more. So I get to share that with people. How lucky am I? How lucky and rich am I?
Wow. Is this redemption for you?
Oh, thank you, God. Yeah. And I hope to help other people be redeemed.
You're doing it. You're doing it. So right now, are you coaching? Are you helping other people heal? I know you mentioned something about some mentorships. If I have some folks that want to connect with you, how do they do that?
You can connect with me. I do coach. I don't like coaching a lot of people because I want to give you a lot. You know what I mean? I want to be able to give you my time and my attention and the love I have because, I really love giving. So it's not a job for me. I got to give this away. I got to empty my hope chest of giving before I'm out of here. And then I do keynote speaking. So I love being asked to go speak at work or jobs or what have you, just as a motivation. You can pick a topic and I can do it. I also do inspirational motivation speaking, but you can contact me on bookhillarypowers.live and we can get a session to see if we connect. And if I don't feel that I can be the right size for you, I want to help you find somebody.
I love it. I love it. I really appreciate you doing this. And like I said before, I know this is going to help so many people that's struggling with addiction, so many people that's struggling to find their inner self, their inner child. So thank you. You got any last words for us?
You know what? If you're listening to this, you are already on your way because it takes a lot of guts to allow something in your mind other than you. So I'm just going to say I'm proud of you. I have total confidence that you're going to find the way because God has just opened up a door and Tony's the man.
I appreciate you saying that. And thank you for coming on the show. This has been amazing. I feel like the little boy in me is just like, fuck yeah.
This is life. This is it, guys. Let's go for it. Let's be happy. Why not? In here, this is my inside life. This is the happiest place I am is when I'm inside.
Thank you for allowing me to travel with you on your journey. I want to say thank you for the things that you're doing, the things that you've done, and the things that you're gonna do, because I know that you're gonna do something truly amazing. Remember, I'm here to stand by you as you chase your dreams, lead with greatness, and continue to make a difference. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so that you can be notified every time we drop a new episode. I'll see you next time on Leaders Lead the Podcast.